Welcome to the West Indian Women Network. I am Priscilla Ramcharan here in the United States. I am the founder, and we are here connecting West Indian women, Caribbean people from around the globe. So I have a super special guest here who is actually in the midst of what she does, but
Yes.
she made time to be with us. Um, so, can you introduce yourself and your work?
Yes, my name is Devrani Barrios. Um, I'm an educator. I own and operate a school called Focus Learning Institute. This school is a place where students of all different type of learners and challenges can come, and they have an actual space where they experience something called equity in education, meaning that it's not just inclusion, it's more about giving them what they need to be successful and challenge them to grow education wise. Here we practice 21st century learning skills as well. So it means that they're going to be exposed to a lot of STEAM projects. They're exposed to a lot of technology. And while we still follow our Ministry of Education's guideline, we deliver that Ministry of Education's curriculum in a 21st century learning environment in a way. So, yeah.
That is excellent. So, what inspired you to open Focus Learning Institute?
Um, Simply because I have two sons who are autistic. Um, all of the principals in the San Juan area told me, no, they can't accept my children because they are not verbal and they were not potty trained and all of those things. So my children were displaced actually for about 4 years.
Oh, no.
And I was working, and it was really difficult for me to accept as a mother because
Hmm.
I was working in a government school. I was employed by our government as a teacher. So I was a public teacher. And my children wasn't allowed a place in the public system or in the public school. So that really hit home for me. So
Wow.
yeah, I quit my job in the middle of the pandemic to do this, to give not just my children, but other children a chance at education, and not just education, but equitable education, things that they need. So, for example, in the student to teacher ratio in our school is to like 4 students to one teacher, especially upstairs.
Hmm.
And the reason for that, because each of those 4 students will be doing something together, but differently.
Hmm.
And so they may need a child may need help in this particular manner, but a child will need another help with writing, another one will need help with, remembering. So it's like ADHD, autism, dyslexia, all of those things. So, we do differentiate in this instruction, but we do it in an equitable way that will
Hmm.
also maximize manpower and give the child a fun learning experience, which is what my children needed. And
Right.
I wasn't getting that everywhere. There was one school that gave it to them, but I couldn't stay in the school and have my own business, so I needed to leave them to do this. So
Right. Right. I'm so sorry that your children were not accepted. To me, that is just
yes,
implausible.
it is, and
Number one. Hmm.
there's so many children in our country right now that is going through that. I have a 13-year-old autistic who gets seizures, um, fairly verbal, and she's 14, and she's not welcome. Well, I can't say welcome, but has not been accepted in
Hmm.
school because the teachers don't know how to deal with children like this. And the ministry
Right.
there's nothing in place for our kids. It didn't put anything in place for kids like this.
Right, but well, they say from any conflict or any challenge comes that solution, and you are the solution. You're the path paver, the game changer for these students who have different learning styles. And is not to say there's anything wrong with that. Everybody has a different learning style. But for
Yeah.
you to have the opportunity to create this space for them is really huge.
Yes. And that's what led me to write foundation readers as well.
So tell
Because
us about that.
well, I know that there are great reading books out there to help
Hmm.
with literacy, but they didn't particularly work for my kids. And autistic children, ADHD, with children with autism and children with ADHD and all of these things, they need a specific structure, like a structured way to gain foundation skills. And
Hmm.
so when I created foundation readers, I created the books with a structure that taught them the mechanics of reading. So level one is all about phonics, and
Hmm.
level two is all about blends. And at the same time, I created it in a way as well that will boost their confidence. So while my children were struggling with the other books, when I gave them foundation readers and I wrote it for them, they were coming along slowly but surely.
Oh.
So what started off as a pet project, I ended up helping other children learn. So it became a community project,
Ooh,
and then it
I love it.
became something more. And then we decided, hey, we might as well self-publish. So that's what I did.
That's awesome. And it takes a village. It really does. But it
Yes.
takes that one person to make a difference. And then for you to create this community to invite students who need you so that they could blossom, they could show their skills. I mean, that's really fabulous. I'm so happy to hear. Can you show us?
So yeah, this is level one. So it's available on Amazon. Um, this is level one here,
Oh, I
right?
love it. Yeah.
And so and this is level two, right?
Yes.
So I went through self-publishing in Trinidad can be something that is challenging for some, but I
Hmm.
met this wonderful company called Amazel Publishers.
Okay.
Because I was a teacher, they were very interested in what I wanted to do because they specifically like to work with teachers, and so they liked the purpose of the books. So they did all of my alignment and artwork and stuff like that, and put it on Amazon for me and formatted it there for them.
That is so nice. You could share their link with me too. Email it, and I'll put it
Yes,
in the description box for anybody else who would like to pursue the self-publishing. But I'm really proud of you. I really am. This is amazing because I'm a teacher myself, and
yes,
children come in all different forms of learning styles. And for me, it's
yes,
so important to cater to each person's learning style. Otherwise, you're doing a disservice to yourself.
yep. And two of my teachers actually are going to open their own schools. One is going to open a preschool, sorry,
Woo!
and one is looking to open like a secondary school. And I'm telling them, I cannot teach all of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
So I am definitely going to have them and show them the ropes, and I am teaching them, the do's, the don'ts, the mistakes, the fallbacks, the disappointments, the conversations, all of those challenges, so that when they get to that part where they're actually opening, they know where
Yes.
their stepping is, and they will not be phased by it. Because there's so many people that get emotional in
Yes.
this line of work. Teaching is a very emotional profession.
It
We will
is.
fall in love with our children,
Yes.
students,
Yes.
I mean, but they become our kids after a
That's what I
while.
say. Yes.
And it is, I mean, you're not doing your job well if you're not emotionally attached to your students. So at least that's what I believe.
I believe
So
that too, honestly.
yeah. And so, you feel very protective of them no matter how old they get, where they go off to after you've touched them. And so
Yes.
um
And then having the parents see what you're doing, how you're helping their child, then they get involved. They know how to work with their
yes.
child a little better because they feel confident having someone like you providing these tools. And that's something that I
Yes.
always preach about. It's not about the individual and what they know or what they don't know, is giving them those tools and teaching them how to then use the tools.
there's something I tell all parents. Before we accept students, we do an intake interview.
Mhm.
And in this interview, sorry, I always tell parents, your child is not gonna stay small.
Right,
He or she's gonna grow up. Puberty waits for nobody, regardless of what condition you have or don't have.
right.
And so they need to learn skills on how to deal with humanity and survive, and not just survive but be successful.
Amen to that. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and so I always outside of school I always tell them about their entrepreneur to be entrepreneurs, to be innovators and
Yes,
creators, and
yes.
not just you know
Don't just
going
follow the
to
system, follow
yeah
the
don't
norm.
don't go work for the government, don't go work for anybody. I mean, you have to start somewhere, and you have
You
to
do.
learn, and you have to fail at things, and that's okay. There's learning and opportunities in failure, but don't be afraid to fail. Try,
Right.
learn, do again, and
I
so on.
love that. Yes, and then they can be like you and pass it on to the next person.
Yeah,
This is what worked, this is what didn't work. Let me help you. And I think that's what I love about you is that you don't just stop at you. You open your arms to everybody and you
yeah.
want to share everything that you can to help them. So we have that in common.
I told them they have to solve the problems that we created.
Whoops. Don't tell them we did it.
I tell them, I said, listen, my generation created a lot of stuff. You guys are gonna have to improve on that and do better than that. So
But our
yay.
generation didn't have the tools that these young people
Yes,
have today,
exactly.
So we did it with lack of tools.
Yeah. I told them, I said, so you guys are gonna have to, and that's something. The world has changed. I mean, if you look at it, the whole purpose of education and my philosophy is that I'm a social reconstructivist. So for me, the purpose of education is for children to take what they learn in the classroom and apply it to the world and
Yes.
to improve the world. And the job market, when you and I graduated school, it is totally different now. I mean, our
Mm-hmm.
options were lawyer, doctor, store
Teacher.
worker, bank worker, teacher, police, army, all of those things. But these children now, they have a lot more options. Like I have no idea what is a social media content manager.
Mm. And we
All
need one
I
of those.
see, all I see is somebody sitting in front of the computer making sure every post on Facebook is correct.
Right.
That's what
Right.
I see. Until I spoke to someone and they said, no, that's not what it is. You actually have to create engaging posts to promote your business. I said, okay, what does that look like? So
Right.
you see, I am still learning this job market that we're in.
Yes.
And by the time they grow up and enter their job market, it's going to change again.
Right. It
So we do
already
need,
is. It already is. The virtual world, multiple streams of income. These students today, they're learning how to work smarter, not harder.
yes, yes. And that's a good thing. I still want them to develop the skill of hard work, but at the same time, because you want them to learn the skill of not giving up,
Right.
and and not want it now. Everything takes patience and effort and determination, and when it's uncomfortable.
So, Miss Barrios, it is such a pleasure to have you here and talk to you. I really would love for you to come back, share more of your work, more of your strategies, how you are building your educational community so that I could also put some people in your hands to help grow as well. So do you have a last message for our viewers?
Um, I can't say don't be afraid, because fear comes with the territory of starting your own business and becoming an advocate. There's always that element of fear. And that's because it's ingrained of us, we are afraid of feeling. But you know, you can't conquer the fear step by step by actually doing the work. Um, I actually missed school and work during August holidays. I actually
I
did.
understand
I
totally.
actually did. I missed my students and I missed the work that I do here and I missed um and you know that's the thing, choose something that you love. You know, I was fired from about three jobs because and one of them because my employer passed and saw me falling asleep on the computer. And that's because I was totally bored
Right.
by what I was doing. And I was not doing what I loved. I was good at it, but it
Right.
wasn't something that I loved. Very rarely do I get that tired in school.
Aw,
And
because you love what you're doing.
I
You're
love what I
passionate
do.
about it.
So when you're embarking on your journey, do something that you love.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. We'll put all of your links in the description box. Reach out to Mrs. Barrios. Let her know your thoughts if you need help with your child, your student's
Mhm.
education. She has a lot of material that can definitely move mountains to help you in every little way. So thank you again. I miss
Thank you so much,
Trinidad.
Priscilla.
Some sunshine.
All right. You too, darling. Be
Thank
safe.
you. Say bye.
Bye.